Conservative new media viewers, LA Lakers fans around the world, JLin fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFE, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss the Lakers' 101-87 victory tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers in Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. Woo! This was a great game. This was a great game for the Lakers, and it was a great game for JLin. And we'll be talking about that plenty in this video. Let's just quickly go over everything. What happened in the game? What happened in the game was that the game was very close heading into the fourth quarter, and the Lakers blew apart the Sixers in the fourth quarter by 15 points. Did the Lakers win the quarter? And so that was essentially the story of the game. The other story of the game was that JLin totally dominated the second half of this game. He completely dominated. He was the driving force behind this win, and it's one of the best performances by him of the season, and honestly, it's one of the best performances by him in his career. This was a phenomenal performance by JLin. It totally puts to bed the struggles over the previous three games, and it solidifies the Linsanity Prime zone that JLin is in, and that he has been in, and that he is heading towards. There's no question about it now, the way that he played tonight. Look, Philly's not the best team in the world, but honestly, they played hard in this game. They particularly played hard on defense. So they didn't come in to just lie down and let the Lakers beat them. It wasn't like that at all. In fact, for a while in this game, it looked like Philly was going to get the win. So that's essentially what happened. Let's go over stats quickly. Philly was led by Thomas Robinson off the bench, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Luke Richard Mabamute, 13 points. Turning to the Lakers. Lakers had 5 players in double figures. Wesley Johnson, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Jordan Hill, 12 points, 8 rebounds. Wayne Ellington, 10 points, 3 rebounds. Jabari Brown, who just signed another 10-day contract with the club. We congratulate him on that. 10 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. Ed Davis, 8 points, 11 rebounds, 4 block shots. JLin, 29 points. He played 29 minutes, shot 10 of 16 from the field, including 2 of 2 from three-point range, 7 of 8 free throws made and attempted, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, no block shots, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. Jeremy's plus-minus for the game was plus 10. Let's just quickly go over what was happening before the game. Excuse me. Shoot, where do I have my stuff written down here? Hang on a second. Okay. The sad news of the day is that Byron Scott's mother passed away. Now, it was reported before the game, or it was said to me, that Byron Scott was not going to be coaching this game, and that assistant coach Paul Pressey was going to take over. But that's not what happened. Byron Scott was at the game, so I don't know if maybe Paul Pressey is going to take over for the next game, or I don't know exactly what the story is. But certainly, we send out our condolences to Byron and to his family. As I mentioned on Twitter, we give Byron a hard time all the time. But Byron, from everything I've ever heard about him, he's a good guy. And, you know, you have to step back from the kind of the entertainment aspect of pro sports and fandom and look at this as a human reality, which is, look, this guy, his mother passed away, and that's sad. So we have to kind of let the comical animosity that has existed between Jeremy Lin fans and supporters and Byron Scott, and kind of put that aside and say, yeah, it's really feel bad for him and his family, and we hope that everything goes well for them as they mourn the passing of Byron Scott's mother. Now, one other quick thing I wanted to say. You know what? I'm just gonna let that go. That was just another note that I was gonna bring up, but I'll just let it go. It's not a big deal. It's just something just another kind of item I wanted to mention, that something had been brought up on Twitter. Now, it was unclear whether Jeremy was going to play this game tonight because he has been experiencing back spasms and a sore back. Jeremy's had the issue before. It has been an issue, something that's been a concern the last couple of games. Has that been why Jeremy's been a little off? Maybe. It could be. We know he's dealing with the back. We know he's dealing with the sore wrist. So those things can kind of add up, particularly as you get further into a season, and particularly for Jeremy, he hasn't missed any games this year. He didn't play one game, and that was because Byron didn't play him. But Jeremy was healthy to play. So we're getting close to the end of the season. Guys are a little worn down. They're a little broken down, so on and so forth. To be honest with you, the previous 3 games were against very good defensive teams. You have 2 of the best teams in the league, and the Warriors and the Hawks. Both have top 10 defenses. And in Utah, you have maybe the best defensive team in the league. Well, clearly one of them since they traded away Enes Kanter. And I believe that's when they started to have Rudy Gobert in their starting lineup. And since that period of time, Utah's defense has been dominating. So Philly's not at that level. Now, again, I don't think that Jeremy just did well tonight because Philly's not a good defense. Like I said, I think he was a little bit off in those last couple of games. And you're going to have that. The key for Jeremy now, in terms of his progression, and in terms of staying in the Linsanity Prime mindset, is to move on to the next game. When you have a tough game, or you have one of the recent games, I think the Warriors game where he had 5 turnovers, just let it go. Go home. If you want to look at the game footage, take a look at the game footage. If you want to talk with Team Lin about what they saw on the turnovers, go over it. Try to kind of refocus and get yourself back to the mindset of low risk, low turnovers performance, and just go out and play the next game. And I don't know exactly what Jeremy did between the previous game and this game, but whatever he did worked. So a part of the progression for a young player is how they bounce back after a tough game. And clearly Jeremy's improving in that aspect. But whatever happened in the last game didn't linger to tonight. And that's a sign of improved consistency and improved maturity. So we couldn't be any happier about things than what we saw from him tonight. Jeremy started out the game okay. He started out, he was shooting well early. And so anytime a player comes out and they're shooting well, you think, well, they could have a big night tonight. But at halftime, Jeremy had good stats, but they weren't incredible stats. The second half, he just completely dominated. He just took over, and he got into a rhythm and into a flow. And the Sixers couldn't stop it. And this is basically what Jeremy at his very best. He's running the show. He's playing point guard. He's got the ball in his hands. He's making good and quick decisions. He's confident in his shot. He knows exactly where his teammates are going to be. So he has good communication with his teammates for passes. And it just bang, 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 bang. Tonight, definitely looked like Linsanity in New York, with the core difference being there were fewer turnovers. And so this is what we've talked about before, which is that the ability that Jeremy showed during Linsanity in New York has never gone away. He can still do this. He just has to be given the opportunity to do it. That's what happened tonight. Also, he has refined his skills since New York. He is a much more complete player now. He's much better. His shooting's better. His turnovers are fewer. His decision making is better. His ball handling is better. Everything is better. And so I think you're going to see more performances like this, although you're not always going to get this level of spectacular performance just because a guy's not going to shoot that well every single night. But this is the integration of everything that Jeremy has been and that he's capable of being. And so if you're a Lin fan, you should be very excited. This is tangible evidence of everything that we've been seeing over this year and the last couple years. And this is, it's the best is yet to come, because I still feel very much that Jeremy is going to continue to improve. There are still things that he can improve to become even better and more of a complete player than he is even at this period of time. Okay, let's go over the quarter by quarter quickly. I'm not going to go over everything. I'll just go over, again, some of the highlights of this. Jeremy Lin came into the game for Wayne Ellington with about 6 minutes left in the first quarter. At that period of time, the score was 8-4 for the Lakers. Yeah, the two teams had only scored 12 points between them in the first 6 minutes of the game. So it's looking like a low-scoring game, and it kind of turned out that way, although the Lakers picked up the scoring. Okay, moving on into later in the first. Jeremy's first score was on a driving layup. He also had his first turnover late in the first. What happened on the play, Jeremy was on the right side of the court, and Ed Davis broke towards the basket. And Jeremy thought that Ed Davis was going to jump up for an alley-oop. And so Jeremy threw the ball to Ed Davis, thinking that Ed was going to go for the alley-oop, but Ed did not go for the alley-oop. And so the ball was easily then picked off by Philadelphia's defense. I really have no issue with the turnover. It wasn't a perfect decision by Jeremy, but I understand why he did it. He did. He believed Ed Davis was going to go for the alley-oop play, and so he passed him the ball. And that's essentially what happened. Okay. After the first quarter, Jeremy Lin had 2 points, 1 rebound. That was it. He had played 6 minutes, so like I said, he started off okay, but we did not know exactly the level of what we were going to see for the rest of the game. Moving on into the second, Jeremy had his second and final turnover of the game. What happened was he was being guarded by Isaiah Canaan. I think they were teammates on Houston. Both of them were there. Neither one of them is there anymore. That's Morey's. It's just math, wheeling, dealing style. Players in, players out. And we'll see how that continues to work for Houston as we move towards the playoffs. So Jeremy's being guarded by Canaan, and he went to make a move against Canaan, driving to his right, Jeremy's right, and I believe, or actually, he might have come back to his left. Whatever it was, Jeremy got an offensive foul. He pushed off against Kanan. So that's an offensive foul, which is a charging, or actually not a charging foul, more like a push-off foul, and that is credited as a turnover. So again, that was his second and final turnover of the game. Then Jeremy had a couple blown assists in a row, and then he started to score the ball. He hit 2 3-pointers in quick succession early in the second. Both were catch and shoot 3-pointers. So Jeremy received the pass, did not dribble, right up with the shot, and you could see his jump shot was on early. He had good command of his form, and he was in rhythm on his shots. So that was certainly a good sign, and he was starting to accumulate points here relatively well and fast in the second quarter. Jeremy came out of the game with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second quarter, and at that point, Philly was up 35-32. So at the end of the first half, JLin had 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists. He had 2 turnovers, and his plus-minus was a -7. So he was playing pretty well. He clearly was shooting well, but we still didn't have an idea of how good he was going to play in the second half. And it wouldn't take long to find out. Jeremy came into the game in the second half with about 5 minutes and 25 seconds left. At that point, Philadelphia was up 61-58, so they were up by 3 points. Jeremy came in for Wayne Ellington, and soon after he came in, he went right to work. He had his 4th score of the game on a driving lefty layup. Soon after that, he had an assist to Wesley Johnson for a dunk in transition. It looked like a look-away pass, which is you pretend you're looking at one place and then you throw a pass to somewhere where you're not looking. Great play by Jeremy. Nice finish by Wesley. So that was fun to see. Heading on to late in the third, Jeremy drew 3 fouls in a very short period of time, and he got free throws on all of them. Which, let's see, he made 1, 2, 3. He made 5 out of 6 free throws in that quick period of time. Had another blown assist. He also had a steal, and then he had an assist to a Jabari Brown 3-pointer, and he had his 5th score of the game, which was a little step back jump shot over Isaiah Kanan, and so that gave Jeremy 17 points for the game. So at the end of 3 quarters, Philly led by 1 point. Jeremy had 17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and he was shooting 5 of 7 from the field. Moving on to the fourth quarter. Early in the fourth, Jeremy had another. This was a jump shot that came off the dribble. Ed Davis set a screen for Jeremy. Jeremy used the screen, went around Ed Davis, just pulled up right around the free throw line and drilled a jump shot. Very nice. He then had excellent defense against Isaiah Kanan to force a brick under the basket. Basically, Isaiah Kanan tried to put up a layup, but it ended up hitting the bottom of the rim. Then Jeremy had a blown hockey assist. He passed the ball to Ed Davis, who passed the ball to Ryan Kelly for a 3-point shot, but that shot was missed. Then Jeremy drew 2 fouls very quickly on the 76ers. So this was similar to what he did in a recent game. I can't remember who it was against, but it was against the Warriors, where Jeremy by himself got the Warriors into the penalty in the fourth quarter, meaning that the Warriors accumulated 5 fouls in the fourth quarter. And then after that period of time, any Warriors foul would result in the Lakers shooting free throws, even if the Lakers player was fouled and they were not in the act of shooting. So it's a very smart strategy by Jeremy, and it looked like he was doing the same thing here tonight. deliberately looking to get fouled to get the Sixers into foul trouble in a quarter. Okay. Then I put Philadelphia is double teaming JLin. Basically, it seemed like they were getting upset because Jeremy was basically picking them apart. So maybe the coaching staff told the players, look, let's take the ball out of JLin's hands because he's crushing us. Let's make somebody else beat us. So that's kind of what it seemed like at that point in time. Then still early in the fourth, Jeremy had his 7th score. He got the ball from Ryan Kelly. I did not see the play, so I don't know what it was. It was a layup or a jump shot. I'm not sure. Soon after that, he had his 3rd assist, which he passed the ball to Carlos Boozer for a made jump shot. That made the score 82-77 for the Lakers, and it forced a Philadelphia timeout with 8 minutes and 57 seconds left. Coming out of the timeout, Jeremy quickly got a rebound, and then he had his 4th assist to Ed Davis for a shot in transition that Ed scored. Moving on in the middle of the fourth, Jeremy missed a floater, which is his 3rd missed shot of the game. He then got fouled 2 more times very quickly in succession. So now the Sixers were 1 foul away from being in the penalty with quite a bit of time left. So again, credit all of that goes to Jeremy because he drew all 4 fouls. He then scored his 8th basket of the game. He drove into Isaiah Canaan, pushed him back a little bit. Then Jeremy stepped back off of his dribble and hit a jump shot. He then had a layup blocked. I think it was in transition. I think he was trying to get fouled on that play and did not. Then he had his 9th score of the game on a little step back jump shot, which was he was in complete rhythm and complete control at this point in time, just rolling. He had 25 points. That forced, I think, that led to another timeout. The Lakers then up 11 points, 88-77. Moving on, Jeremy then had his 10th score of the game, which would be his final score of the game, which was a jump shot from around the free throw line that gave him 29 points, and there were 4 minutes and 6 seconds left. Then he was fouled again. Actually, no, that gave him 27 points. He was then fouled for the 5th time in the quarter, got free throws then, made both of them, and that gave him the 29 points with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left. And then it was just a matter of was he going to get the 30 points or not, which he ended up not doing, but it didn't matter. I mean, the game was completely in hand for the Lakers then. I think they were up by about 15 points, and Jeremy had just taken over everything. And it was too late for Philly to really do anything about it. Okay, he then missed, late in the fourth, he missed 2 more shots. Yeah, those would have gotten the 30 points, but no big deal. And then finally, he had a great assist. It was a little hook pass, kind of just like a whipped pass. He was double teamed off of a pick and roll play by the Sixers defense. Came up and they double teamed him hard. Jeremy went around the double team, dribbling to his right, and saw Ed Davis going to the basket from about 30 feet away, and he just crushed the ball right into Ed, just on a perfect pass, just a terrific play. Easy layup for Ed, and that was just kind of the icing on the cake at that point. And with about, 30 seconds left, Philadelphia actually double-teamed JLin at like half court. So I don't know if it was they didn't want him to get to 30 points or they just had the instructions from the coach every time Jeremy has the ball, double-team him. But whatever it was, that was kind of like the final little funny play of the game. And so the ending score of the game was 101-87 for the Lakers. Look, once again, Jeremy was completely dominant, particularly in the second half. Philadelphia couldn't slow him down. They tried to slow him down. They did try to work double teams and blitzing pick and rolls and stuff against him. It didn't matter. Jeremy was, I thought, a perfect he had the perfect blend tonight between scoring and passing. Now, he only ended up with 5 assists, but I think he had at least 7 blown assists. So he could have easily ended up with like 8 assists or something like that. So this is, I don't know if I can say that this is the perfect formula for Linsanity Prime, because my guess is that he's going to end up passing the ball more than he did tonight, depending on who he plays for. I mean, he could be in a situation where the point guard is given the freedom to score like this. But if I had to guess, I think he's probably going to be in a situation where he shoots a little bit less and looks to distribute the ball a little bit more, which is completely fine. Like I said, if instead of 29 points and 5 assists, he had like 20 points and 8 assists, that's great. That works too. I like that he recovered from the turnovers. He had the 2 turnovers in the first half and had 0 in the second half, even though he played more minutes. And as I said, he just he let himself go from whatever happened in the previous 3 games. So we're seeing this is a clear step forward for Jeremy in terms of, in all facets, in terms of performance. And for me, honestly, the more importantly, in terms of mentality and maturity. The struggles from the Utah, Atlanta, and Golden State games just didn't affect him tonight. They didn't have any effect on him. And you could see in this game his confidence was high. So we're starting to get past the ups and downs and the emotional roller coasters and the performance roller coasters. I as I mentioned in the videos for those 3 games, I wasn't super thrilled. I wasn't concerned, but I wasn't thrilled either. But he's in the long run here, in the long term, Jeremy still is taking that kind of volatility out of his game. There's still going to be nights where it's not what you want it to be. But there's going to be less of those nights. And there's going to be more successful nights like tonight. And overall, that's going to look like more consistency, and statistics will reflect that. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier. As I said, it's not just the performance tonight. It's this performance, it's this approach to the game that he's had over the last, whatever it is now, since the Portland game, last 15 games or so. He's just reaching a higher plane as a basketball player. And his maturity, not just on the court, but off the court, is also coming into play here. It's just you're seeing a more settled, confident, happy, self-satisfied person. And we know in Jeremy's first couple of years in the league, his first year was just, a lot of it was D-League. And then New York was up and down. I mean, he went from doing nothing to being the superstar to, well, maybe there's some resentment among some of his fellow teammates. And then he got hurt. And then we know in Houston it was like he would get really upset about the games. We know in his testimonies he'd get upset. He'd get anxious. He couldn't sleep. He was worried about how was his backup better than him. There was all this angst and anxiety. And that was reflected on the court. And now you're just seeing less and less of that. Jeremy still has a ways to go to develop as a player, in my opinion. I've said I think it's still about 2 years away to become completely what he wants to be, as long as he's healthy and can continue to put the work in, just so he's able to do that physically. Maybe 3. I guess it could be 3 years, but I'd say 2 to 3, and that's it. And then you're going to see the full player. But now it's happening. He's turned the corner, and the corner was turned this season. This is the point of inflection. This is where it's all changed. And this performance makes it even clearer to me. But just, it's like I said, it's not even what Jeremy does on the court. It's the way he's approaching things mentally and emotionally. That's where the true transformation has taken place. And that's what gives me like the incredible faith in what's going to happen. Now there are 15 games left? 14 games left. We've heard before, Byron Scott apparently said that Jeremy's going to start the final 10 games of the season, so that means we've got 4 more games with him not starting. The toughest stretch is over. Atlanta, Golden State, Utah, that's done. I don't know the rest of the schedule. I'm sure there'll still be some tough games coming up, but I wouldn't tell Jeremy anything. The only thing I'd tell him is, after tonight, you can't tell him anything. The only thing I'd tell him in terms of the recent games is just, you have to stay attacking, you have to stay aggressive, but if you come to a fork in the road in a game, in a particular game that you're playing, and you have to make a choice between being a little more conservative or a little more free-flowing or a little bit more high energy, I just say just be a little bit more conservative. That's not always going to work, because sometimes you need to let it all out there to try to make plays and get your team to win, but that's the only real remaining factor right now. Jeremy's playing good defense. He's utilizing his teammates. He's being decisive. He's making mostly good decisions. So really, for that 3-game stretch, it was tough. Really only came down to turnovers, and a lot of them weren't that bad. So we're not going to get hung up on turnovers. Just like Ito Amir said on Twitter recently, you can't get too focused on them. You don't want to do that, but there's really nothing else to fix. Keep working on your shooting, which is getting better and better, and that doesn't get done within the season. That's over seasons and off seasons, so you can't really do much on that right now. Like I said, besides the turnovers, there really isn't anything to say. Jeremy's playing extremely well right now. He's just getting better and better and better. And there's a lot more to come. If Jeremy stays healthy, you're going to be seeing some really good things to come from him soon. I'm sure we'll see flashes of it for the rest of this season. But I think starting next season, when Jeremy's got more time to put in work, if he's going to find a new team, which I think he is, get set up with that. Of course, there'll be an adjustment curve then. Then he'd have to learn a new system, learn new teammates, figure out what the coach wants of him. So that could kind of set him back a little bit in terms of being fully activated. But from his overall progress curve that he's on right now, I think that next year, from the start of the year or quickly thereafter, based upon any adjustments he has to make to a new team, you're going to see a different player. you're going to see a much more consistent, confident, poised, serious NBA player, 9 in and 9 out, with even better things to come in the future. So this is a very exciting time. This is a very exciting time. If you're a Jeremy Lin fan, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Team Lin, for his family, and for his friends. He's put in tremendous amount of work. He's endured all kinds of just ridiculous criticism and slights, and the finish line's in sight now. The ticker tape at the end of the race, can see it now. It's getting close. We're almost there after everything that's had to have been endured to get to this period of time. So that's it. It's an amazing night, and it's setting up even better things to come. Even better things to come. So I couldn't be any happier than what I am right now. Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. We want to thank Gary Chen for the artwork you're looking at right now. You can find out more about Gary, as well as the Jeremy Only Lin Garden fan group, which Gary is a part of, in the video description below the video player. Also in the video description, you'll find information so you can check out highlights of this game. And in the video description as well, information so you can come and follow us on Twitter, and how you can come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group. Love to have you be part of those things. And we talk to everybody on Twitter, so come and be a part of that. Once again, I am PFV, Paulo Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. Top of the world. This is it. This is the true Jeremy Lin. This is the Linsanity Prime version of Jeremy Lin at its best. Let's move on. I can't wait for the next game now. And that game will be coming up on Tuesday, so 2 days from today. And it is against the Oklahoma City Thunder and the scorching hot Russell Westbrook, who I believe earlier today recorded his 10th triple-double of the season. That's going to be a fun game. I mean, Jeremy's going to have to spend at least part of the time guarding Russell, and that's going to be interesting. So that's a great challenge for Jeremy. And the Lakers now, are going on a 5-game road trip. So that'll give Jeremy another chance to kind of sharpen up on the road. Of course, that's been something he's been critiqued about before, so it's another good opportunity for him to improve in that area. That game will take place again on Tuesday, March 24th, and it'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on the eastern coast of the United States, so 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and 8 a.m. early on Wednesday, March 25th in China, Taiwan, and the Philippines. Now, here in the United States, the game will take place on TNT television. So that'll be fun. That should be should be a good game, or it should be certainly for Oklahoma City. It's a big game. They have to win all their games so they can retain their playoff seeding and make the playoffs. So it's a televised game. You figure the Lakers will probably be pumped up for that. They want to do well. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to how Jeremy's going to perform in that contest. So, okay, that's about it. As I said, great night. If you didn't see it, you definitely want to catch the highlights. Jeremy's little 3-game, or whatever you want to call it, mini slump, or whatever, is over. He breaks out, and just with one of the best performances of his career, and just lets everybody know, yep, here I am. I'm still here. I'm not going away. Linsanity wasn't a fluke, and I'm getting better and better and better. So Have a great night, great day, wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care. We'll look for you in the comments and on Twitter as well. Talk to you again soon.